Reflections. Reflections, Toastmaster Sonal.
There's a saying in Sanskrit which goes as Yata Raja Tata Praja, which translates to so is the king as is the citizens. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. The situation was tense. The tension in the air was palpable. Sir M. Vishveshwaraya and the king, Raja Krishna Rajendra Vadiyar IV, from the erstwhile Mysore kingdom, were in deep discussion. Because the situation was out of hand. Just 4 months ago, the king had mortgaged his family jewelry, his queen's even favorite jewelry, to the king of Benares to raise funds to build the KRS dam, the architectural marvel in Mysore. But even that did not suffice to raise funds for the mounting cost for the construction of the dam. The king and the scientist were in deep discussion. What do we do? The king thought of mortgaging one of his palaces, and this was unheard of during those times, to raise funds to build the lifeline of the people of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. But the genius, Sir M. Vishveshwaraya, came up with a plan. He summoned the royal messenger and asked him to go to village after village in the Mysuru kingdom and deliver a message to the village headmen to ask them to gather in a village near Mandya the following day at 4:30 p.m. In such short notice, they did not expect many people to turn up. But the summons were from Sir M. Vishveshwaraya, the genius architect who was going to build the lifeline of the people. Sir M. Vishveshwaraya expected 40 people, village headmen, to gather in the village. But to his utter surprise, not 40, but 400 village headmen had gathered there in such short notice because they wanted to have a look of their God who was going to save their lives. But the crowd gasped because along with Sir M. Vishveshwaraya came a man who was regally dressed, extremely poised. It was none other than Raja Krishna Rajendra Vadiyar IV. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a time where it was very uncommon for the kings to meet with the commoners. But this was no ordinary king. He was one of the most benevolent kings of all time. He greeted the crowd, spoke to them in a language that they understood, Kannada, before he took to stage. Once he was on stage, he spoke straight from his heart and explained his predicament to the people to the village headmen. He said that he wanted to build this lifeline for them. However, he had run out of funds. He requested the commoners if they could work for 3 months without being paid. The crowd once again gasped. 3 months without being paid. For some of them, 3 months without being paid meant depletion of their savings. For some, it meant starvation. But again, the commoners saw a king just like them who needed help. The crowd did not respond. However, Krishna Rajendra Vadiyar, having made his appeal, went back to the palace. The next day, he, along with Sir M. Vishveshwaraya, resumed talks of mortgaging one of his palaces just to raise funds to build the KRS dam, the mighty KRS dam. This was a time when people would not let go of even a small jewelry, and the king was ready to mortgage his palace just for the convenience of the commoners. Just then, the royal summoner messenger said, "Sir, you've got to see this." So Sir M. Vishveshwaraya, along with the king himself, went to the veranda of the Mysuru palace. It was a sight to behold. People came first in tens, then in hundreds, then in thousands, and gathered in the palace courtyard. People of all sorts and sizes. They were people who were teachers, engineers, cart drivers, farmers, even children, and ladies and gentlemen, even maimed. Even the maimed wanted to do their tiny bit. Just like how even the squirrel did his work for Rama. Just like that, they call it Alila saving. Every single commoner wanted to do their tiny bit to keep their king's dream alive. And all of them gathered there. The king took his hand and placed it on his chest as a mark of deep gratitude. They immediately got to work and worked for 3 months without being paid. And soon they were able to build the KRS dam. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, if we see the KRS dam, I invite all of you all to come to Mysore and have a look at the mighty KRS dam. It's an architectural marvel. And please ensure that you pay your respects, not just to the king, not just to the genius Sir Vishweshwaraya, but the thousands of people who made their tiny bit to keep the king's dream alive. And this is a lesson in teamwork. Each of us do our tiny bit, all of us do our tiny drops to keep the ocean alive. And that's probably why they say, Yata Raja Tata Praja. As is the king, so is the commoners. Back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sonal. Yes, Yatara.
I'd like to call on our Toastmaster Ranga to evaluate Toastmaster Sonal's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Ranga.
Toastmaster Ranga, you are on mute.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Prince. First, let's.
Sorry, sir, you're gone on mute again.
This happens. I seriously don't know how this happened. Sorry. Am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible, Ranga.
Okay.
You can go on, please.
So first, let's put our hands together for Toastmaster Sonal for this story. It was a masterful speech. Toastmaster Sonal had excellent command over the language, and she took the art of storytelling to the next level. Toastmaster Sonal was very comfortable in her settings, and her audience awareness was near perfect. The story was interesting and gave us an idea about the history of KRS Dam, which is still the lifeline for Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The way Toastmaster Sonal delivered the story had a great impact and was very, very emotional. It touched our hearts. A couple of recommendations that I may give. The story is so emotional at so many levels. Maybe she could have modulated her voice when the king interacted with the people. That would have given us more impact about the story. And she could have also delivered the speech standing up, so we could have enjoyed the range of gestures that would have definitely come up in the story. To sum up, Toastmaster Sonal checked all the boxes when it came to the purpose of the speech, her audience awareness, clarity of thought, and the way it was delivered. If there was some voice modulation, and if she had delivered the story standing up, it would have gone up to the next level. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ranga, for evaluating Toastmaster.